to start with our first feature of the day, and it is a world premiere feature, if I am reading that correctly in the program. And we are going to have actually the filmmaker, Anton Kurza, come up and introduce it.
Hello, hello. So yeah, that's right. My name is Anton, and I'm from Ukraine. Also, I happen to be a director of this movie that you all are going to see today, right now. And this movie means really a lot to me. It's my first movie. It's my first feature movie. And I can definitely say that this is the experiment. This is the experiment on my own life that took me almost 8 years to make. And this experiment consists on two parts, two challenges. One challenge is how to make a huge, giant-scale fantasy blockbuster with no budget at all. Now it turned to be as a curse, having no budget, but also there is something magical about it, because you need to find out, you need to trick the reality, you need to trick the unprofessionalism and the poor reality to make this all fantasies and just dreams come true when it goes about the movie. And together with my best friend, Dmytro, who is the main character in the movie. He's also a composer, and all the music you're gonna hear, except just one little piece, but let's say all the music in this movie is written by him, which is absolutely brilliant. We have been to the long and difficult journey to make it all happen. You're gonna see musical, you're gonna see opera, you're gonna see 3D animation, 2D animation, a lot of action, and mystery and fantasy in this movie. I think it's really worth watching, and I just want to wish you to have fun watching it. Thank you.
Zoya.
You thought that you could have all the fun to yourselves? Now it's my turn to diagnose.
What are you talking about, Brother Andrii? The banquet of the dark forces has just begun. And now, my winged Valkyries will rip your soul out and will bring it straight to hell! You can't break me, Kreutzmann.
Good off. Good off. Good off!
Bring it on! May the psychiatrist's blood spill.
So, a lot to unpack. And that feels like an understatement.
Yeah, I agree. I'm still doing it, honestly.
Well, so I mean, we've got illness, we've got religion, we've got reality and obscurity and oddity and all of these different things. And what I want to know is, why tell this particular story?
Well, because these all things that are surrounding us, right? Maybe not every day.
Yeah.
But maybe if you're watching too much of television or internet, you can find so many things
Yes.
that have been advertised. And when we started shooting it, I was like 18, 19 years old.
Okay.
And that was the age when I was realizing all of those things.
Okay.
When I started noticing that that everything is so packed with them, that a lot of political decisions, a lot of social waves, the trend waves, everything is forced, is influenced by the religion, by our own mindset, by our ideology, by our psychological state,
Yeah,
honestly.
Absolutely.
So this story is about many things, And I really wanted to make a movie that would be rewatchable many times, and so more new things would be found in it. For example, right now I just watched it myself.
Yeah.
I don't know what time I watched it, maybe like 101st time, you know.
Right.
But I watched it on a different screen, and I was like, I never looked at this from this perspective, honestly. And that's pretty interesting. So the story and everything what is going on, it's more like it's based on the observation of the other people.
Okay.
Like when I was growing up, I went to school, I did take part in many social activities, for example, right? And I saw some people and I saw their reaction to some things. Some reactions are more hysterical, some reactions are more like calm and quiet, you know. So in the root of the story is like this confrontation between evil and good, but at the same, what is good, what is evil? The main character is the psychologist, who is the in between these two sides.
Yeah.
And my character, who I played, is the Anton Kurza. You can see him on my T-shirt. He claims that he's the warrior of light. He's the priest, exorcist. He's the gardener, of course, and he's the doctor, right? He has the cross. He has this cool suit and stuff like that. You know, he seems to be a very wise and respectful person. But how can we be sure that his wisdom is right? Or maybe it's not. Is it right? Some people may think so. Remember that scene in the park when our main character with the crown, he didn't have a crown at that moment yet, but people were going to listen to him because he was telling something that everyone was missing and they wanted to know more about it. And my character asks, like, told them, like, don't listen to him. Like, he's possessed, he's crazy. I'm telling you, I'm the doctor. And the other guy says, but why would we trust you? Like, why would we believe you? And he's like, who would you trust more? The professional doctor or the schizophrenic? But it's from his perspective.
Right,
he's the doctor, he's the light, he's the divine person probably, you know? So it's like, there is no good or bad, but it is.
Yeah.
Just we claim what we are. And maybe it is true, maybe it's not. So this is a crazy story, journey, filled with fantasies, with humor, with dark humor, and satire, of course.
Yeah. No, the one thing that I absolutely love is that pairing of religion with the medical field, because both sides always go, I have the answers, I'm absolutely right. So pairing them together is almost that total absolution where my word is law, my word is rule, and you have to deal with it. You know, it goes back to what you're saying. You know, I'm the doctor, listen to me, don't listen to this guy, listen to me. And that to me is just a great pairing that is, at the same time, it's so scary.
It is scary. If we have some more time, I can just add something about it.
Yeah, please.
The thing is that, so I'm from Ukraine, right? And it was Soviet Union, Ukraine was the part of the Soviet Union, and Soviet Union was considered to be atheistic. Like, God wasn't official and all of that. And once the Soviet Union collapsed in the 90s, people started realizing that, oh, we kind of like religion, oh, we kind of like all this like paranormal stuff. So it's a giant mess of the religion, of the paranormal stuff, of something that is just crazy, you know, it's like funny TV shows, telling you about, oh, the chupacabra is real, you know, all of this stuff. So there are people who were claiming that they are professionals, that they are scientists, but they could combine so many things together. They could be, I'm a doctor, I'm the psychiatrist, and also having a cross, and also being like, but I also can, you know, exorcise the demon out of you if you want. Like, multifunctional magicians, sorcerers, who are just embodiment of everything what is good on their opinion, and just, I think it's a good setting for the fantasy, psychological fantasy, dark comedy, what I made.
Right.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, do we have any questions? Yes, Michael.
Who are some of your influential filmmakers? Because there was so much going on in this film. Like, who do you watch and you're like, wow, I really inspired you to do this?
Yeah. So when I was a kid, maybe I was a teenager, my favorite director was Tarantino. And it's not because I really liked all his movies. I honestly like only Kill Bill. This is my favorite movie. Yeah, but what I liked, I watched all of these movies, and none of them really touched me that much, but Kill Bill was amazing. What I like about him, that it sees so much of filmmaking freedom in all his works. You know, you see the characters and they're not so cliche. Like, they can do anything. They can act weird. They can have, like, for example, remember, who's the guy? The villain in the Inglourious Bastards, the Christoph Waltz.
Well, to be fair, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen that one.
Okay. He had this like super giant pipe in the very beginning when he was smoking, and it was like, this is so off. Like, the setting is so serious. It's not Nazi Germany. It's horrible, right? And at the same time, he has this like almost like clown-like pipe when he's smoking. It was like, wow, but it kind of works. It kind of works. So, an ability to make these characters, which is the fundamental for any story, that are so interesting, that are so weird, and it's so interesting to follow them. They are crazy, but we like it, you know? So this is what I liked about Tarantino, and probably when I just started making the short at first, and then I made this movie, I really got impressed with this, yeah, do whatever you want, you know, do whatever you want, and that was the engine for me. But the main inspiration for this movie, honestly, it's just life experience. You're just observing people, you know, you see some situations, and you put them all together, and you have a character sometimes. So yeah, I would say just so many things. It's really hard to tell one, but probably everything what I liked when I was growing up kind of affected less or more. Yeah.
Love it. I love it. All right. Any other questions? Yes, Vanna.
I sensed from the start that the doctor with the cross, you know, he was probably a patient. Did you intend that, or did I just guess it?
You mean in the very, very beginning of the movie?
In the beginning, I knew there was something wrong with it. I mean, that was my take. Now, did you intend for people to see that, or did I just guess it right?
That the character is not so good, or like...
He's the patient, probably.
Oh, yes, it's like one of the ways to treat it, honestly, because the ending, when we see that the guy is the doctor is actually the patient, yeah. I would call it more like an alternative ending. It wasn't really meant to be part of the finale of the story in the very beginning. We definitely wanted to make him crazy. So it's not like only the good, the evil, even though they act this way, but still, you may not agree with everything what the doctor says or do, I mean the character I'm playing, right? So yes, it kind of gives you the idea that there's something wrong with him, you know, but the ending, it's something that I would consider as the alternative ending, because I built here the whole universe, and I would like to expand it, and if I do it, and I think I will. This ending is not going to count as the canon, if it makes sense. Yeah. But it's a nice way to end the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of gives you some confidence, thinking that not everyone is as good or as evil. Yeah.
All right. Last question.
I was curious if you had filmmaking classes in school since you did this so early. Like, how did you start getting into filmmaking?
That's a great question. That's a great question because honestly, when we just started making it, we didn't mean to make the feature film. Actually, we started with a sketch, and at that time I just finished the high school, and I kind of had some ideas that probably I should do filmmaking, like storytelling, but it was not so serious. So honestly, this movie helped me to develop, helped me to invent the artist in myself. And on the process of making it, I went to the film school. So it was after I started making it. Because the thing is that it was a little sketch. It was actually, it's a funny story if I can tell that, how it all started. If you remember the very first scene where we're in the park, you know, and we all have different haircuts, and I'm not in a uniform, in a white uniform. That was the very first scene that was shot, and it was meant to be a short sketch. It was called The Psychologist because, as I said, it was after the high school, and I just realized that most of my friends were going to become the psychologists. And I was like, what's wrong? Like, what's happening? Like, how that became so popular? You know, like so many people. And I was like, oh, let's shoot something about it. Let's shoot this story about the guy who is like studying. He wants to be a psychologist. And me and my friend, Dmytro, the guy who is actually a psychologist in this story, we just started thinking about like brainstorming, and it came out to be the whole feature from that. So it was happening all at the same time. I didn't have any knowledge. It was so amateur, honestly. And then I was like, no, I like the idea, I like the characters, and I want to make it true, the whole story, the whole idea, every fantasy I came up with these characters. I mean, yeah.
Awesome. All right, well, thank you, Anton. I appreciate so much you coming out. Fantastic film. I absolutely, again, a lot to unpack, but absolutely worth every second of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Round of applause, please. Anton Kurza.